the only people that go out training and actually come back weighing more. So hello beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. Today we are in Moate Farm up in Donard in County Wicklow, and we're going to have a little look around this place for the next hour or so.
Probably not going to be a long video this weekend, guys, because we're only away for one night. We had Kim's graduation last night, so we had a few beers at home. So we decided to come down to this little local area about 22 or 3 kilometres from our house. Abina's mother and father have been here plenty of times and they showed us this little gem. We will show you around. We're going to take a walk down to the village now in a few moments time and get what Abby would call 2 scoopies, which is an ice cream.
It's not the liquid form. yeah. So if the pubs are opened, we'll definitely be sitting outside enjoying the warm weather and a nice cold beer.
And the 2 scoopies. And later on today, or even tomorrow at this stage, depending on how many scoopies we do have, we're going to bring you for a cycle up towards the Wicklow Mountains, which are just on the back of us here. So this is what greets you in the little village of Donard. Just outside the entrance that leads up towards Moate Farm, we have Moynihan's bar over there on the left hand side. And then there's a little sign here that we missed a few times coming in here. Leads all the way up to the farm itself. So this is the narrow laneway that leads up towards the farm. Small little graveyard there on the left hand side. Looks like it's old enough as well. It brings us right to the farm area where we have the reception. Not manned at the moment, but the lady gave us her number so we can contact her at any stage. Then you have the automated gate that leads right down into the actual campsite itself. There's a code for that gate. Nice little shower block. Showers are free and a part of the price as well. I'm not too sure what the price is. I think it's around €20 for the night. A laundry room, sitting room, chemical toilet disposal, and you have all your bins here as well. All the hard stands here lead down to the left and right. Look level enough, and each of them have electric hookup for them as well, so probably a bit in need of a little TLC, but it's rustic enough to actually make you want to be here. It's lovely and quiet, and I think that's the way the lady wants to keep it as well. It's a barbecue area as well. Not too sure how the midgies would react to be here for the night. And you have a camper's kitchen as well, which I presume is closed at the moment anyway due to COVID. So as you've seen earlier on, we actually parked up on the grass area down at the very bottom. Right behind that little camper there in the middle, which I say has been all over the world at this stage. But anyway, we'll show you more as we get to know the place a little bit better. We're going to head off back down to the motorhome now and go for a cycle up towards the Coolmooney camp area of Glen of Imaal, which is a military army camp up there. We'll have a look around there, and hopefully Fenton's, the pub that's up there as well, will be opened and we can get a beer there, maybe, just to hydrate.
We got our ice creams.
We got our 2 scoopies. Brandy had his yelping match with himself. But a lovely little area. Grass is not too long to be annoying, but long enough to be comfortable. I like a little meadow down here. A ring fort in the centre there. There's no sign there or description to say what it is or what it's about, but it's a nice little feature nonetheless. I said plenty of electric hookup. The only thing I haven't seen yet is a grey water disposable area. Abby has informed me that there's one right behind us, so I obviously missed that. We shouldn't need it anyway for being away only for one night.
Oh, 1.6 kilometres in and it's all uphill. Oh my god, but it's beautiful. Have a look at this. Absolutely stunning.
This is what we have succumbed to, guys. 6 kilometres into a cycle, mountain bike cycle no doubt, we've come to Knocknarrigan crossroads and we find ourselves taking a tea break. Nothing stronger in it. What we're going to do in a few moments time is we're going to go down to the right hand side there. There's a pub down there called Fenton's. It's in around the area where Abby and I met. I is for the first time nearly 22 years ago. We'll see what's happening down there. In the far distance off up there you can see Lugnaquilla, one of Ireland's highest mountains and the highest in Leinster. And up that way there behind the trees is Kedean Mountain, which is right at the back of Coolmooney Camp, and we'll show you Coolmooney Camp on our way back. That area used to be a shop, and in Abby's time of training recruits up to about 7 or 8 years ago, it used to be a takeaway as well, and you have Knocknarrigan post office there in the corner as well. A young lady doing nice coffees there. That's where we got a coffee a few moments ago, and you can see our bikes over there as well. So we now find ourselves in the middle of the Glen of Imaal, and this area here is known as the firing range. You can see Lugnaquilla on the far side of Camera Hill here. Camera Hill is a hill that the soldiers love going up to put up the red flags whenever there's firing going on down here. Always full of soldiers wearing pink with blue and black helmets. Over there you have Cemetery Hill. That would be where the military vehicles would bed in and fire their missiles into the side of the hills here as well. Back around 1941 there was a terrible accident here whereby there was a group of officers and NCOs and men on a training exercise down here when a landmine went off, and I think 17 were actually killed in that. 3 were completely blinded, 2 partially blinded, and one of them was so mentally distraught as a result of it. 2 years later on after that he was actually found guilty but insane of murdering 2 people up in Dublin. Such is the way his mind went at that stage. The latest tragedy then happened in 1979 when there were 4 teenagers down here on an orienteering exercise, and they picked up an unexploded device, and unfortunately it detonated, killing 3 of them and injuring the 4th. So yeah, this is the Glen of Imaal firing range, called the Glen of Imaal after the Imaal tribe that were here in the 6th and 7th century. They were the kings of this area themselves, and they were overthrown by the O'Neills from Kildare back in the 8th century, I believe, as well. And it was an area that was frequented by Dwyer as well, who was an Irish rebel leader back in the late 1800s, around the time of the Irish Rebellion. And we'll tell you a short story about him once we get up to his cottage in about 20 minutes time. This is the junction right beside Fenton's pub, where Abina and myself first set eyes on each other nearly 22 years ago this October. She was marching down that lane there after coming back from battle inoculations, and I was standing at this junction here directing traffic, because my job was as a military policeman at the time, just stopping traffic for them to come down and go down behind the pub there and get back onto the trucks in order to go back to the barracks.
But who's that fine hunk of a man?
Look at her. I think I'll marry her in a few years' time. So 3 kilometres ago we had a cup of coffee and a cup of tea. 3 kilometres later we're going to have a beer.
So the only people that go out training actually come back weighing more.
Cheers, sweetheart.
Do that, so. Cheers.
So we're after cycling up to the car park across from Dwyer at McAllister's cottage. That's the laneway there that actually leads up to it, but unfortunately there's no public access to it at the moment, so we can't show you what it is like today, but I will show you a couple of photographs from my mother and our daughter Kim standing outside it from years ago, so that'll be in the overlay here in a few moments time anyway. But about Dwyer at McAllister cottage, Dwyer was a rebel leader back in the late 1800s, around the time of the Irish Rebellion, and he sought refuge up there with a few of his troops. I think there was about 7 or 8 of them all together, away from the British Army because they were attacking them. So in order for Dwyer to escape, McAllister actually drew fire from the actual British soldiers itself. He got shot in the end, which allowed the other guys to escape and on with their journey. That's basically all.
Right, so that just brings us to the end of this film. I hope you enjoyed our visit to Moate Farm campsite up in Donard in County Wicklow. We had a great time cycling around and seeing the Glen of Imaal area yesterday. The weather was quite warm today, but it got very overcast and windy up in Donard, so we decided we'd come back this way and have a nice barbecue. So that's what we're doing at the moment, just waiting for the food to cook.
If you liked our video, guys, please don't be afraid to subscribe and give us an old thumbs up, and we'll bring you content as much as we can every weekend from our travels around.
Okay, so hopefully next weekend we're going to head over to the west of Ireland, up by the Wild Atlantic Way, and we're heading to the Hinch, Spanish Point and Milltown Malby. So hopefully you can follow us our journey, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye.
Bye.